spontaneous today, because today it is, again, times 3, with our always ebullient and erudite Don Sherman and Harry Northup, our resident poet of East Hollywood.
The only all completely spontaneous show on the air.
Totally unscripted, unrehearsed, unedited.
It arises out of its own volition.
Right, anything can happen. Surprises galore.
And we'll take no responsibility for any aside comments.
What a beautiful day to have a show, isn't it? Is it nice that the show is outside here at the Silver Spoon?
Yes, November 30th. Everybody else is chilly and we're balmy, as we said yesterday.
California is an amazing place to keep that same temperature all the time, or the majority of the time.
Yeah, winter
sometimes when
or
the
summer.
houses move down the hills.
Yeah, just don't buy one of those.
But
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a dream place to live.
I never feel sorry for people who buy a house and it's in a precarious place and they lose their house. I feel sorry for the working class people. That's where my heart goes out to me.
Yeah, if they have a tough choice. But yeah, the guys that go from Malibu and it gets washed away in the waves, that's just part of the game.
Yeah, but those people in some of those outdoor jobs, they love it. They love climbing that. They're outdoor people.
Oh, sure.
You know, you take someone like that and you give him a factory job, putting a pin in a hole, the pin in a hole, the pin in a hole. He comes to work with a machine gun the next day. You know?
Yeah.
Don't get any ideas.
They go postal.
Not me.
I think that's the term, is it? Going postal.
Postal, yeah. And they're the most peaceful people in the world, I find.
Well,
Postal
sir,
workers?
yeah, your letter carrier is very peaceful. You know,
Yeah,
they,
great postal carrier. But you know what? Years ago, they used to say people in the post office were on drugs.
Why?
But they
they were
were
so calm.
But the one thing I realized, they're not on speed.
Well, I won't rap them. They're great, man.
No, I will. I'll tell you why.
Well,
My mother was a postmistress in Sidney, Nebraska. She drove 12 miles every day for 12 years through sleet, snow, and rain. She never missed one day. We live in East Hollywood, and I guarantee you, every year, at least 3 or 4 times, we don't get our mail delivered. And we're like half a mile away.
Really?
Yeah. They don't care. You know? But I love the post office.
Well, maybe you experienced that, but most of the time from the Bronx, even if you come out here, it's almost the same breed of person, you know. Even you go to Estonia.
yeah,
The post guy is the same guy. He's got a different.
it's the same guy. Yeah, different
Same guy
hairdo,
from
but
Chicago.
yeah.
Today there's a lot more, you know, in my neighborhood on Western, there's a Korean woman, and I walked in there and I said to her, we were talking about age, and she's about 60 or so, and she says, my daughter tells me I'm over the hill, and she says, I tell her, I'm a sunset.
Oh, he's so man.
Oh, that's good. Now, who's the most interesting person you've ever met in a U.S. Postal Service
There was a guy
branch?
over in my neighborhood, I can't remember his name, he was a tall black guy, and he had a attaché case with his name, who is so-and-so, and he would go around putting his things on mailboxes and on buses, and they finally nabbed him for destroying property. Who is Don Gant or something like that, and he was just doing PR for himself, a la Henry Jaglin.
Oh, yeah.
You know how people do their PR? He was pretty amazing, and then they nabbed him for destroying property. You know?
Well, the most interesting person I ever met was the second day I was in Los Angeles, and the guy in front of me in the lineup at the Pacific Palisades Post Office was none other than Walter Matthau.
Yeah, he'd make a good postman with his attitude.
Yeah.
They're always interesting. They're always ready to talk a little bit. I used to work for the post office Christmas time.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
indeed.
it was so funny.
Postal
because
pro-
in my little family in the Bronx, my cousin Norman, a little older than me, he was a hero to us. Norman is great because Norman had a civil service job. Norman worked for the post office, and all I heard in my life growing up was Norman, be like Norman. And I finally got a job Christmas in the same post office, in the main post office that he had to work.
Dragging bags of catalogs.
And his job was cleaning up the bathrooms. Now, there's nothing wrong. I'm not disparaging it, but I was looking at. But there was
Heating up the bathrooms?
cleaning them, not eating them, cleaning them up.
Yeah.
And he was like a maintenance man, and he liked it, and I started to look at it in a different way. But it was funny was the idea that He had a job for the government. And that meant he was not to be worried about it anymore.
Yeah, civil service.
He was taken care of. It was the whole thing that people that came from Europe was the fear that life would disappear on them. And once you get locked into one of those jobs that are always there, your dad did that all the
Civil
time.
service, 30 years. Here's a Walter Matthau joke. I know two of them. Walter Matthau, you know, in New York City, you go in and there's a counter and there's a
Can't pronounce
pharmacy.
it Walter Matthau.
No, he was talking about Walter
Walter
Matthau.
Matthau.
All right, Walter Matthau. So he, you know, in New York City,
Same
there's a
museum.
counter.
Same museum.
Huh?
Same museum.
Museum.
Says it beautiful. Say it again. Say it.
Museum.
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 Are you going to the museum?
Yes, I.
Yes, I
Can I have a cup of coffee,
I
light and sweet?
enjoy the museum. I hate the museum.
Walter
Yeah.
Matthau he tells a story of a guy goes into a pharmacy lunch counter in New York City.
Yes.
So he goes up and he sits down at the counter and he asks the guy behind the counter, "Do you do urine tests here?" And the guy says, "Yes." And he says, "Fine, wash your hands and make me a tuna fish sandwich."
But you got to get an okay to.
And here's another one. You ever hear about a postmodern
Hey,
Western?
there's Bob Forster hanging around
All right.
by the silver spoon
Here's
over
a
there,
Walter
drinking
Matthau.
water.
A
Descendants.
postmodern Western.
Has a
I want you out of town by
brand new
noon
Lexus.
tomorrow. Or at least by 12:30.
Just arrived. He's walking over here. Bob is walking over here.
Now, how does that relate to Walter Matthau?
Those are his two
Well,
jokes. I
they're-
remember him by.
They're both actors.
Oh, he delivered that one.
Yeah, those are two jokes.
He was a good comedian.
I remember seeing him facing the crowd. When he comes over here, we'll have him sit down.
He
for a
may
few
not
minutes.
come over here.
No, he's come over here. We'll
Anticipate, you anticipate life too much. Life isn't, it's kind of come as a surprise to you, Harry. You gotta say, what was that? You know?
You anticipate you saw him coming over there.
You can never be shocked by anything. You get sometimes a sense of warning and you prepare for it and you're thinking of an angle on it and you want to frame it or hold on to it. It's just a moment passing, but let it pass.
Just doing a little Jackie Mason right there for you.
They'll all come by.
Yeah, but don't you anticipate things like making love to your wife? Don't you look toward night?
that's
You're gonna
good.
get in bed with your wife. I mean, don't you anticipate things? You anticipate getting up, having a cup of coffee, reading the New York
No,
Times.
I don't want to destroy your energy. Your energy is wonderful. As a matter of fact, it's great. It's a great contrast to my different approach, more relaxed. But it's a good combination. It's with breeds humor.
I'm gonna have to get you to relax.
No, I worked on relaxation from the minute I was
No, we have to
born.
gear him up, you know.
I figured out how to handle life without doing nothing. I said that was going to be a wonderful thing one day if I could ever just have to do nothing and not be obligated to do anything. And suddenly I found myself in a position where I could almost do nothing, and that seemed to be the hardest thing to do.
It's very hard to get by doing nothing.
Doing nothing when your mind is actively thinking about something all the time. Oh, I was only retired, and you have nothing to think about. And all of a sudden the machine says, well, we shouldn't take the time off.
Yeah.
The brain takes time off, everybody hangs up. The adrenaline doesn't stand by, ready to help you if there's an emergency. You're a pigeon.
Yeah.
Robert, would you like to join us for a couple of minutes and just sit down here for a couple of minutes?
I'd be thrilled.
Sit right here. Sit there.
There you go. Drop in the slot.
You guys talk
God,
a
you
little bit about
you shouldn't put such a good-looking man next to a man.
Actually, we're sitting at Robert Forster's desk in his office.
Well, this is one of the places I've enjoyed over the last 27 years. Yes.
7 years. You said.
No, not in this spot. This has been 13 or 15 or,
Oh, you
or
moved.
maybe more.
Where was the other spot?
Well, when Schwab's broke up in right near Halloween in 1983, you and I and everybody in there, hundreds of regulars.
Yeah.
As you remember,
Yes.
actors, directors, writers, hookers, hangers-on, horse
Policemen.
players, who else?
Policeman?
Cops, and it was a great joint, but when it broke up, everybody went to the Four Winds, and we wound up here with a table that included Arthur Schaefer, you remember?
Yeah,
and,
Arthur Schaefer.
and,
Eddie's young brother was a great comic.
Robert,
yes, I heard.
coffee maybe?
Coffee thing,
I mean,
yes.
a great comic, brother. Not-
Okay.
Oh, dude,
Well,
great.
I don't think I ever saw the brother. but,
Big, tall guy, like him,
Yeah,
but great comic.
okay.
Go on.
No, but thank you.
And then
And we sat at a table inside here.
inside.
And after I was at the same table for at least 3 years, 4 years, and had heard every story, I decided my career was really, really
Bad shape. They were depressing you.
I'd better go back to school, and if I ever made it again, have a little more, be on a little more solid ground. So I went and I studied economics, and I took some Italian and some earth science stuff I was curious about. And then eventually Jackie Brown came along and rescued me at this table. By then I'd been here 15 years or so. Or no, a few years. It's been almost 15
He's the only person
since.
I would let interrupt. Robert
No,
Frost.
that's all right. This is
Gloria.
this is the hot number of the Silver Spoon. We say that. Wait a minute. Where are your other glasses, Mar?
Honey, I got my new pole glasses.
She
Pole
she had a
dancing.
pair of glasses
Them
that
are for
looked
my
like it
pole
came with
dancing. I
a.
can only wear them with my pole dancing.
Well, there you have it.
Pole dancing.
That's my new occupation.
Oh, good. I'll be there.
I need a small setup, thanks, Harry. Just a spoon is what all I need. Anyway, this has been a really great spot. I think you've been documenting it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least a month
But
now. Yeah.
it's so interesting that you come down to this place all the time, and like you use it like almost like an office.
It's just look for
Can
an
you-
actor
can
for
you
an actor
deduct
who
can
has.
you deduct your meals from Princess Look
You
at
know,
that.
I never
Look into
tried that.
that.
I never tried that.
Yeah.
But I'd say the guy I have over there would say no, you can't.
But after a while, people just walk by the streets here on Santa Monica Boulevard, and they see Robert City, and they've come, and then the children have come and come by and see Robert City.
You know, I've seen kids grow up. There was a kid who used to walk by, he might have been 12 or 13, like that. Somebody, his mother, I guess, she used to come by here too, let him see Jackie Brown. And he was a tall kid to begin with, but he's grown into a very tall man by now. And he used to come by here and say, are you the guy that, and I said, sure. And you've seen this kid come in. He comes in every once in a while and says hello and tells me what he's been up to. You know, it's a little family here. I'd say there's a lot of links.
What do you do when this disappears? Is this place supposed to be closed soon?
Actually, it was a couple of weeks back. It was supposed to
maybe
close,
the
but
check
We've been
never
on borrowed
reprised.
time here for a month or longer.
Yeah.
First I heard about this thing was a couple of months back when they said it's up for sale, and we saw the sign, and the sign says new owners, and we all knew it was coming, but the delay in the date of execution has been, a godsend for guys like us. We got nothing better to do except enjoy this place while it's still here.
That's right.
We
should chip in and buy our own place.
Oh, that'd be a disaster. You're
Yeah.
a slave. I'd say you're a slave to a place.
Yeah, you got to marry a restaurant.
Remember,
Yeah.
wasn't there a film about that? 5 actors and they buy a restaurant and they get in all kinds of fights and they argue about it. Oh, it was a funny movie. Harry, you don't know a movie?
Maybe
There
that.
was a movie, Danny Aiello, he had a place, Dinner Rush, but that was another story.
Yeah.
It wasn't this story.
Maybe it was a sitcom you're thinking of writing, and it's back in your brain.
No, I think the guy was a star and they were going to invest his money in the rest. I think Danny DeVito was in it. And they were, and then when they started, one guy wanted a red chair, one guy wanted a blue chair, one guy didn't want a chair. It was funny. But
Tough to have partners.
no, partners are tough. But unless but friends sometimes are worse because they're honest with each other.
Well-
You need a little dishonesty. You believe that? You need a little dishonesty.
A little larceny here and there.
To make a thing last a long time.
Well, I remember what Shelley Winters said to Harvey once, who had given an actress a so-so review. And the actress in question was disappointed with the review. Shelley said to to Harvey, you're just going to have to learn to lie with a more open heart. So there are times when lying is absolutely necessary, and you must remember, if you're ever complimenting an actor, it can never just be okay or great.
It's got to be
really superlative.
Yeah.
You got to think of
Over
new
the
ways
top.
to say it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the actor is left in shambles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't say it was really good.
No, that's not good enough.
I think actors
It's
are
really
almost
good.
born with that need.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so maybe as soon as a kid comes out, give him a round of applause instead of slapping him on the ass.
Yeah. Give him a
Give him
round of applause.
It'll be better for the kid, and it'll be less hostility on the human being.
Can you do business while you're at this table? Is this
Sure,
recording?
hey, this is
All right,
yours.
this is real life.
Just
So,
to have you at this table.
there you go. Good.
This is a real actor negotiating real show business in front of your eyes. Something I don't think anybody ever had to.
Calling my daughter about whether or not she's going to come over. And,
Oh, what a grandchild this man has.
Yeah.
What a grandchild. What a grandchild.
all right, Harry, I'm going to put you back in your seat. I thank you very much
Robert, thank you.
for the guest.
Thank you, Robert.
appearance.
The Descendants.
That was
Oh,
Robert
see, The
Forster.
Descendants.
Thank you, Robert.
And we thank him.
Thank you.
This is, I want you to turn down your supporting role.
What?
Turn it down if they offer it to you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's
And,
about time.
We'll wrap up our show, but wait, you had something you want to say? Okay.
Yeah, let's wrap it up appropriately. You know, it's a good idea. If this wasn't visible, it's a good idea, Harry. If you would be one of you have your book of poems here at hand?
Yeah, let's wrap it up with a
There
poem.
it is. Look at
Yeah.
it. All snow pointed out.
Shelley Winters.
What-
we were
what
talking
is-
about Shelley Winters.
Here it is. The poem is entitled Silver Spoon, written by Harry Northup.
All
Take it
right.
away, Harry.
Let's close out.
Shelley Winters said, I start working on a film tomorrow and I'm scared. You've lost weight. You look good. Been on a diet? Asked Kip. I've lost 50 pounds and I wasn't on a diet. I was depressed and didn't eat, said Shelley. How many films have you done? I asked. 150. That's how many films I've done. 150, said Dick Miller. Yeah, but mine were all leads, Shelley said. I like what you said on Bravo, the Actors Studio interview about George Stevens teaching you how to channel your emotions and behavior. A telephone scene, I said. The best piece of acting advice I've ever gotten was from George Stevens. He said, speak soft and think loud.
Right.
Very good. How fitting was that?
Yeah. You know, those same words were told to me by a director, so I don't know who's the original. The guy, Arthur Penn. And it was funny how they really, because I do very little acting, and I got a good shot. It was the best role ever. The Gangster Chronicles. And the story was, I was a baker, and these gangsters had molested my daughter when they were kids. It was a neighborhood thing. And he walked in, and they wanted to shake me down, and I wanted to kill him. And my opening lines I did were really loud and rough, and this director and the actors brushed me off. They were like method actors, and they went their own way after the first run through. And then the director told me, what you said, he said, think loud, but talk soft. And he made me repress that hatred so much, and I whispered, like, how the guy got the words out. The guy had to like listen closely. And boy, after the scene, those guys come on to the dressing room and have a drink. And it was funny. I was talking their language. Like when you cry, you work against crying, or you just cry.
Just leave it alone. You just leave it alone.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
Because trying not to cry and crying over it is really effective.
Well, we have come to the end of our day.
At the crying note.
At the
my
crying note,
God.
times 3 is closing for the day because we're out
I'm
of
crying because
we're out of
it's
digital
going off
time.
the air.
If there is
That's
such a
what it
thing.
was. That's why we're talking about crying, because we have to say goodbye.
we have to say goodbye. So
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Don.
And thank you, Robert Forster.
and Robert Forster, thank you and
He's over
goodbye.
there booking another movie.
It's amazing.
His award isn't even in for this movie.
Say goodnight,
And
Don.
he's setting up where to put the next award.
That's how it works.
Confidence.
That's how it works.
That's an actor.
Let's continue tomorrow.
Tomorrow, let's
Tomorrow.
listen to Harry Northup. Sometimes
Here's
he's
the
right.
last word of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the last word of it?
Restore.
Restored. Good word.
Okay. with that, Restore, we say goodbye.
Okay. Restore.